Wonder Woman issue 15, legacy number 815. Tom King writing with Daniel SAMPERE on the art. This was a very strong issue, really strong sense of structure. There's kind of this framing device of Wonder Woman just giving like a little sing-song and nursing young Lizzie, baby Lizzie, singing a song about princesses getting bumped on the head, which kind of carries over into what the rest of the issue is, which is one by one each of, well, there's more than just them, but at least to begin with, it's the Wonder Girls taking out and targeting places of wealth that the Sovereign has. So the first one, because the Sovereign's kind of describing this to Lizzie in the future. So the first one is Cassie attacking this big giant automated warship, which apparently is where the bulk of the riches that the Sovereign and his family have amassed over the
actual physical currency that they have to keep on hand, right?
Yeah, because they don't trust people to to keep it safe or anything. So it's this automated battleship in the middle of the sea.
Because the automation can't turn on you. And it won't snitch on you, and we get this real fun.
I mean, he says that. I bet there's been a few stories in DC Comics about AI turning on someone.
100%. But we just get this fun. It's Cassie in a jet taking fire.
These are just excuses almost just to have like great little like sequences for the art for like SAMPERE to just go wild. So in this case, it's like Cassie in a jet and like doing a flip out of the jet as the jet flies, and like there's a great 2-page spread of this battleship exploding and Cassie in the sky. It's just a gorgeous big panel.
Yeah. And the way that she has, her red really pops because it's against blue and gray for the ocean and the ship and everything. So the red on her top and then her shoes, right, her Chucks, it pops against there, and the kaboom. It feels like a Wonder Woman pose, right, when you look at her. So yeah.
I mean, it's not an accident. It absolutely is a Wonder Woman pose.
So good stuff. But yeah, so the fact that they're taking, this is kind of where we get our, Diana's hand tipped a little bit to us, the reader, of what's going on as they're attacking the Sovereign where it hurts, which is all the financial, right? Because he took Steve from her, right? So this is the counterattack now.
Yeah, but it's not just about revenge, though. This is about taking him down and like stopping everything. The second is Yara, who goes to a bank where there's a safety deposit box with multiple banks actually. We just see one, but the idea is that she's went to like 17 banks all across America, who all have different, various like just completely ludicrously expensive jewels and things like that.
Well, he calls them like the crown jewels of America, right? Where's it the next one?
No, it's this one.
Yeah, there's crown jewels of America here. And there's also it feels like here where he's talking about the United States and safeguarding those from those who are bound by the law. Yet Yara's the one Wonder Girl who's not from, right? She's not like Cassie, who's from America, or Donna that grew up there, right? She's from the Amazon. So it also feels like, she's an outsider going here. There's like this little twinge.
I mean, you say that, but look, a lot of the narration during this scene actually talks about how because the Sovereign convinced the government to make Amazons outlaws in the US during this whole crisis, it's actually meant that they have no reason to obey the general laws of the country, and that's why now they're willing to just walk into a bank and rob it. Obviously, she's not robbing everything in the bank, she's just going for that one thing in each bank, but it's this idea that if you're going to make them outlaws, then they'll act like outlaws, and all of a sudden those safeties that you put in place of like establishing what the laws are don't protect you anymore.
Right. And so, but I just thought it was very clever to make that be Yara in this instance. It was like an actual outsider, right? Not just because she's an Amazon, but she's she doesn't look like the other Wonder Girls as well. So for the Sovereign to tell this, it feels like it's a little extra knife turn to him.
Yeah. And then the third one is Donna, of course, who is retrieving the most valuable jewel, a diamond, that the Sovereign made a deal with Solemn Grundy to guard this. And as it goes on, we find out that, it's not just in a location that Grundy's guarding. I mean, Grundy gets killed all the time and gets brought back. And in fact, that's why Grundy agreed to this, is that the Sovereign and the forces they have would always make sure he comes back. They'd always make sure he'd be in the right place. If he gets locked up or something, or if he dies somewhere far away, he'll always end up back where he wants to be reborn. But the place where it's held safe is inside him. He eats it. He swallows this big diamond, and then when he shits it out, he's agreed to re-eat it. And I love the parenthesis in the narration here where he says, one would assume after it's been washed, but we can't be sure.
Yes, that's why I was giggling here, because of that one. After the wash, one presumes but does not guarantee. It's just like, all right, King, that's a good one. That's a good joke.
Yeah. But this is just a scene of Donna punching the crap out of Solomon Grundy and getting really mad that he keeps saying the rhyme. He's like, if you say "born on a Monday" one more time.
Well, and it just feels like that's the part he's repeating, because we know it's christened on Tuesday, did not do that, but it just seems like he's just doing the "born on a Monday" part, and so she's with each one she's delivering a little bit heavier of a blow, right? And it's just and he looks absolutely intimidating, right? The size here that SAMPERE gives him versus Donna, right? He feels like a mountain of a creature. So
actually, a little detail here I like about these three scenes so far of the different Wonder Girls is Cassie's was in the air, right, out in the ocean, in the sky, lots of blues.
Yeah.
Right. Yara's was in a bank, so lots of beige walls. It's the normal level of society. And then this one's underground, where it's all dark and grimy. So it's like sky, land, and underneath, whatever you want to call it. I just think that's an interesting, like, the idea that they had stuff hidden in each level. Is cool. And plus, it means the color schemes of each scene are also very different.
Very different, and they stand out. They're very memorable. Also, I like that they sign off each one as this is the third princess, second princess. I bumped my head. And so Donna adds here, and it's really bloody as she's holding the diamond that she cut out of Solomon Grundy. But she also mentions, I know that you can heal. So this is, she's not doing anything, below the board.
Yeah. So obviously the rhyme that Diana keeps saying started with 4. So it's like, okay, who's the 4th? Like, is it you? Like, you going to go do something yourself or what? So it ends up being... so this guy, what was it? I forget what, is he a lawyer or a banker?
He's a stocks and bonds annuities.
Okay,
so he's like a
stock exchange broker dude. Yeah.
A broker. There you go. There's the word.
So he's like going to a location, and it seems like he's here for a rendezvous with a woman that he's met online. He's all excited. You hear a voice coming from behind the door. Right? It's clearly some sort of internet hookup. And when he comes in the room, it's Cheetah. And I love the idea that Cheetah's tactic here was just to lure him in with the promise of sex and then just pounce, just attack him, and make him do what she wants. Because we find out here that basically all of the stocks and bonds and everything that they had were liquidated, and after going through various shell corporations and things like that, all made their way into charities for looking after big cats, which was just a funny little touch at the end. But yes, also good.
So as he's knocking on the door, right, it's room 37, he starts talking about the, she goes, I've never done this before, from that place, that forum where I show my differences. And you're like, huh? And then he hits on the word, he goes, I've been thinking of just how hirsute you are. I was like, why do I know that word? So before the reveal, I Google what hirsute means. And it means covered with hair. And I was like, oh, right. And I was like, okay, very, very clever here for King to kind of set it up before.
I can't believe you just stop reading and go and Google what a word means.
Yeah, I need to know.
But check afterwards. Like, you're running the flow of the book for yourself.
No, because it still didn't. Because then I got excited because I was like, well, there's only one person that could be, right? They're talking about how different, and then hirsute, and that's kind of why he's there. And then she's ready to pounce. Like that, her pose right there. Anytime I get to see Barbara Ann, I'm excited. So going back to what I was saying about the locations for the 3 Wonder Girl scenes, this scene's very much like, this is the seedy location. Like all the other ones are like obvious hiding. I mean, Grundy's not obvious, but like you know what I mean. Like this is more like, oh, we're going to use the perversions of the world and turn that against the bad guy kind of thing. They seem to get more intimate as they go, right? Big open sky, bank, underground sewer, and then a hotel room, right? So
Yeah.
they get a little bit closer, and yeah.
Yes, and of
But
course Cheetah enjoyed the violence a
yes.
lot more than the other ones did because she's
Uh-huh.
Cheetah. But yeah, so basically, yeah, the big final page is just when the build up to it is that the Sovereign
Mm-hmm.
saying it was that bastard Steve Trevor. Before he died, he investigated like our stuff, like all our connections, and passed
Mm-hmm.
that information on before he passed away. And the final page is Diana just sitting there with her baby, and the arc is called Fury. So it's like, yeah, she's kind of pissed now. You kind of
Mm-hmm.
upset Wonder Woman, so
You woke up the sleeping giant, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
there you go, main story. Yeah, very, very tight. Like a lot of these like main stories have been in Wonder Woman from this
Mm-hmm.
run. They're very well structured. They've got a point they want to make by the end, and they always build to it very eloquently.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like these more, formatted kind of stories that we've gotten, because it's not the first one like this that King's given us with the Wonder
No,
Girls.
I mean even the very first issue, I think
Mm-hmm.
had a very strong structure. The way it built up to
Yeah.
Diana.
Yeah. So, and I like it that that's been kind of the theme. It's very solid storytelling throughout while he's playing with some of these other elements here. Talking about how, a certain percentage controls everything, and like how would you hurt them, and that's to take that away. And you hit them in the pocketbooks, and that's what Diana did here. And this was her counterattack. So yeah, and just again, Sampere's art, just every character looks fantastic, from the Wonder Girls to Grundy to Cheetah, even the regular people that they interact with. So like the people on the bank and whatnot, they're all there. They all have the right expressions. Like Sampere's just killing it.
Yeah, some of the reactions of the guy that Yara's talking to are pretty gold, actually. Like, they make the
Mm-hmm.
scene funnier because he's, like,
Yep.
freaking out at her.
And
Yeah,
because she's completely nonchalant, right? She's just like, yeah, I'm here. Let me in. And like the police fire at her and she deflects it like it's nothing. The bullet with her bracelet, and then she gets her lasso, which is like the bola to knock out the cop. But she does everything almost with like this smile. Like she never looks uncomfortable once as she's doing it. And you find out it's like the 17th time that she's done this. So yeah.
yeah. So the backup, which is a little bit different than normal, it is still Tom
Mm-hmm.
King writing. It's KHARY Randolph on the art, and this is actually a POV story, which you get quite
Yeah.
quickly. That this is the POV of Steve Trevor in the afterlife. So
Mm-hmm.
it is basically it's got one point to make, but it's like first scene he's with a soldier who's talking about the good old days in battle.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, but Steve's just clearly not interested by the time at the end of the page.
Mm-hmm.
Next scene, someone's serving him like the best steak that he's ever had, but he still throws down his cutlery, doesn't seem to care. And then it gets more personal. It's like he's seen his grandmother, who he's not seen since he was a young
She
boy
passed.
because she passed away. The grandmother that presumably Lizzie's
Named after.
named after. So that was a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, here's a scenario where you're in battle against a monster and you save the day, you win, and he still's not happy. So it all just sort of gets to like I don't know what you call this guy. Is this like a specific like mythical
I
figure
don't-
he's talking to?
No, I don't think so. He's like the librarian of the afterlife.
Yeah.
I guess.
But he's basically just saying, hey, like, this is the library. You come here. There's books on everything here. There's literally a book about how to achieve peace and inner peace and whatever. But you never want that. You always just want the one. And then there's even a scene where they've given him like an attractive woman who's like all sexy and just got a towel wrapped around her, and she's like, "Hey, I'm here for your pleasure, Steve." And he literally opens the door, and because it's called Elysium, the story, and like I was like, "Oh, this is just Gladiator. It's the field where he's going to walk out into the field." And then he's with a bunch of old military buddies that he knows who died in battle, and he's still not happy. And ultimately, it's at the end of the story where it's like, "Hey, you're supposed to be happy here. You're mourning. You're supposed to be happy. This is your reward for living a good life. You have everything you could possibly want. Like, what else could you possibly desire?" And then it's just a couple of empty panels of nothing but sky, and then there's just one bubble coming from the bottom saying her, and that's the end of the story. That's it. That's the whole point was building up to him saying he can't be happy because Diana's not here with him, and that's it. It's a sweet story. It works.
Yeah, it works, and just the way that King plays with the grids, right? Because they're all 2 by 3, right?
Yeah, 6 panel
across
grids.
there, 6 panel grid. And and just the way that it plays all throughout, it's very consistent. And just, the first image that it ends with, right, is the beach, right? So it starts with the sun coming down the horizon, and then with the sun setting, and it's almost like, to me, that was like the first time he saw her, right? Was when he washed up on the beach. And then so through the end, where whoever this is that kind of resembles Diana at the end, she's sitting in the chair, and says that you have paradise. What could more you desire? So then it's driving home the Diana's from paradise and all this other stuff.
It feels like Diana, but drawn as like a 20-year-old or something. Like
yeah.
Here's like barely legal Diana, because that's clearly what you would desire as a perverted man. Yes. There you go.
But yeah, and he openly, he looks out to the field and sees that sun again, like looking into the distance. But yeah, at the very end where he's looking into the sky and all that, and he just looks up for her, and it's just like this empty, it looks like the cosmos with some clouds, and it was really, really, it really hit, how empty he is now.
Yeah, there's also a recurring motif of a circle, because you've got the sun on the first page, second page is the plate that he keeps looking at, third page, there's not one as direct on the third page, but I guess you could argue that his Grand's face is a little circular. But then in the page after that, where he's fighting the monster, there's a bullseye that he's looking through, it's circular. And then the sun again when he's going out into the field, and then it's the glass of beer is the circle that he's looking down at. It's not in every page, but it's there in like almost all of them. There's something circular that he's looking at.
Yep. And then at the end, there's that emptiness, right? That lack of that circle. But yeah, it's very, very good. I was expecting a Lizzie story, which would have been a bit lighthearted and, a bit different than the main story. So this one, it was kind of somber, right? A little bit emotionally affecting. So I like that King can switch up gears on the backups like that.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll just go back to Lizzie next time, if it's just like a one-off, because...
Well, isn't she getting her own series soon?
Don't remember.
Okay. I thought I read, or maybe that might just be reprintings of the backups again, right? But I thought I saw a Trinity, something along the lines.
It's probably just backup reprintings.
Gotcha.
Or maybe there's like a special one-shot or something. I don't know. Why'd you ask me questions like that I'm never going to be able to answer?
I don't know. I mean, Google exists. Just like when I looked up Hirsute,
Yeah, but I didn't know in advance you were going to ask it.
Okay, I'm just saying. Also, I can't wonder aloud.
I have no answers for you. Yeah, no, excellent issue. Like it was enjoyable to read, well structured. The art's phenomenal, particularly. I mean, the art in the backup's solid, but the art in the main story's phenomenal,
top notch.
It's hard to really find much fault in it. It's nice that all these different characters get something to do. It's nice that they all get to help, because even though they're not interacting with Lizzie yet, there is kind of this weird, like, here's your 4 crazy aunties kind of like the mentality going on. So yeah, liking all that. So plus this idea of like not even showing Diana's face until the last page. You only see the back of her head as she's holding the baby. Yeah,
and it seems like all of her focus is on Lizzie now, right? Because that's why she's singing the song. And the fact that that was the code too is this thing that she's singing to her new baby as well.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't describe it as all her focus is on Lizzie. She's clearly orchestrating everything that's going on.
Oh no, but I mean that when we do see her, right, she is focused on Lizzie. Everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, all right, what are you giving Wonder Woman?
I'm gonna give this a 9.
Yeah, it's hard to really argue. I'd even be tempted to nudge it higher, but I'll agree with a 9 out of 10.